Ladies and gents and everything in between, it is Thursday and it's time for an alternative paper review.
Prince Andrew's a nonce burger.
Well, no prizes for guessing what the top story is this morning, I suppose. Roof ninja woman found living inside a shop sign. Oh, yeah. I wonder what English grad or what journalism MA graduate got sent out to cover that shit. Really? I've just spent 5 years studying Watergate and the CIA's involvement in shopping crack into black communities in the 80s. Now you're sending me out to cover this nutty bitch who lives in a shop side? Like, is this really the best use of my skill set? I'm forced to wonder. Anyway, no, that is not the actual top story. The top story is, of course, Rishi Sunak calling the general election for July the 4th. You know, it's like finally some good news. Finally some reasons to have hope or to smile for the first time in 14 years. You know, after all the lies, the corruption, the failures in privatisation, all of it. If you imagine all of that as rainy, stormy weather, this is like a break in the clouds, isn't it? Just a slight ray of sunshine and then a holy effigy of Peter Cunner from D-Ream just echoing like things. No such break in the clouds for Sunak, however, because for reasons best known to himself and his comms guys, he was forced to go out to the lectern in the pouring rain. And, just as he's doing his old Sermon Sunak lectern spiel, Steve Bray comes along with a 100-watt speaker blaring out, "I singing now things," which was, of course, Labour's 1997 victory anthem sort of thing. So, yeah, the optics for Sunak kicking off his GE campaign, not great, really. Not a great start. You've got, you know, this drenched, washed-up Prime Minister. Immediately you got people cracking jokes about, you know, a drowned rat or escaping a sinking ship. Of course that image is then going to be splattered across all of the front pages today. Drowning out, says the Mirror. You know, the Express might try to put their usual CCHQ-approved positive sheen over it, but you can't escape the fact that every single newspaper's got him on the front looking like he's just lost a round of crackerjack. Just drenched, isn't he? He looks like, Lee Evans after 40 minutes of stand-up. He looks like he's physically tried to stop a boat, doesn't he? You know, climbing into the English Channel. And I said no. Out you go again. The refugees are like, well, we want to come into Britain. And then they notice, like, the lapping shit of the English coastline. And they're like, actually, I think we'll head back. Could you give us a push?
Oh, now what the fuck is this shit?
Anyway, over to The Sun, who are complaining that Sunak has called the election at a time when their readers would be enjoying Wimbledon, the Euros and Taylor Swift's concerts. Yeah, I mean, this front page, I quite like it, actually, because it's sort of illustrative of the problem with The Sun for me, right? So The Sun is marketed as the people's paper, right? When you say who reads The Sun, you would normally think, you know, white van man, builders, dudes in greasy spoon cafes. It's that sort of market, isn't it? But it's important to remember, it is still owned by a billionaire, and many of its writers and editors are actually quite wealthy dudes on six-figure salaries. And so occasionally what you come out with is a rich person's idea of what a poor person would be interested in. Well, I think they are sort of interested in politics, the plebs, aren't they? But I think they're going to be a little bit irked that this is getting in the way of their football and pop music. Pop music that, if reports are to be believed, the tickets for which cost 600 fucking quid. It's like, oh, ballots. This working class family of four are going to be really upset that this election is getting in the way of their £2,000 trip to the O2. I mean, apart from anything else, what do you think the majority age demographic is going to be in the O2 that afternoon, that night? I would imagine it would be the target demographic for a Taylor Swift song, which is what, like little girls aged 4 to 16? Which means we're in a silly situation here, aren't we? Where we're actually imagining very rich little girls aged about 9 are looking up to their parents like, "Mama, I've just heard the most frightful news from the au pair." What is it now, Tabitha? I'm sorry, but I can't feign interest with this amount of Botox in my face. Well, Mama, it's the Prime Minister, you see. He's called an election and it's on the same date as Taylor Swift. So, I don't see the problem here, Tabitha. Well, of course it's a problem, Mother, because as a little girl, I love Taylor Swift, but I really love politics. Oh, for goodness sake, Tabitha, you are a difficult child to love. Yes, Mother. You've told me that many times, and may I just say, I cannot wait for Alzheimer's to rob you and the rest of us of your personality. Guys, while I have you, I'm doing an in-person meetup on Saturday the 5th of July in London. It's for my Patreons and my YouTube community backers. There are links to both in the description below. If you want to come and meet me, have a few drinks, put the world to rights, that is happening on Saturday the 5th of July. Get involved.
Hey yo, Star Alternative Paper Review. Coming in for you every day is the truth. Roasting the Tories, bring you the stories. A. Thompson talking blue in the room. Dude in the shed, big ears with a brew. Drunk off his head, it appears had a few. Age 42, saying what's